All right, good morning and welcome once again to your show. This is CROSSFIRE on channel 57. It's our terrestrial platform, and on that platform, all we do is to just bring beautiful, wonderful programming to all our viewers. And so if you are watching me right now, it's live from our studio here in Lagos. And so we are back, on this platform to help you know exactly what is going on in our country. Nigeria is so big, and a lot of things are happening at the moment that is really militating against, Nigeria being the country that we all, envisioned at one point or the other. Now, this morning, we have a very wonderful package for you as we talk about Nigerian youths and their role in Nigerian politics, especially in governance, really, and we will eventually talk about it in full. A lot has been said about Nigerian politicians lacking compassion, for or show interest in ordinary Nigerians. Now, Nigerians have expressed their insecurities concerning the involvement or lack thereof of Nigerian youths in building our future. Now, here are some insight into what the relationship between Nigerian youth and Nigerian leaders should be. Now, most of the time, the arguments concerning the need to have Nigerian youth as leaders in modern government seems to be endless. After all, as the cliche, posits it, youth are the leaders of today, and not even today, we always say tomorrow. Now, because we have waited for a long time, and this tomorrow just never comes, and, tomorrow never really comes, it remains really very elusive. But if the recent events of the past weeks are any indications, the youths will have to wait because the present dispensation of leaders are yet to get tired of governing. So we have an 83-year-old man who was just made, who was just appointed into office. So we are still operating a recycled system of governance, or democracy. My name is DAPO BANJO. Welcome once again to CROSSFIRE. I'm not alone in the studio. I have ISHIOMA AGHA-INEH with me. ISHIOMA, good morning.
Good morning, DAPO, and good morning, Nigerians, Lagosians. Welcome to CROSSFIRE.
All right, yet in a little while, you'll be meeting our guest, on the show to discuss about the role of the youth, in Nigerian politics, and particularly in government and governance as we go on. But before we do that, we quickly will take a journey into a couple of stories that are trending. Now, yesterday, President Muhammadu Buhari had a closed-door meeting with former President Goodluck Jonathan, and really and truly, it was a very beautiful meeting, because I saw a video when they came out of the meeting. Both of them, were laughing, so they probably had a nice time. So after the meeting, the former president, said that Nigeria must remain united. That there's nothing we can really achieve, if we don't have a united Nigeria. So he was addressing, some State House correspondents after closed-door meetings, yesterday with President Muhammadu Buhari. So, and we will talk about that in the course of the show. So let's see from what is happening. Boko Haram in the northeastern part of Nigeria. We have the Niger Delta Avengers in the south, and we have, the headsmen, going around the north, the east, the west, and the south of Nigeria. And we have problem in our in the legislative quarter. The judicial system is not working. The presidency, they don't even have a clue to what Nigeria is, is going through, and it's really mind-boggling. So we'll talk about that in the course of the show. Now, Speaker Dogara of the House of Rep, was claimed or was alleged to have bribed, reps, with a whole sum of $25,000 each. And Abdul Jibrin has come out to say that, to the nation, accusing the Speaker, Yakubu Dogara, of bribing some members with $25,000 each. So we'll see if we can talk about that. Now, Lagos says it will dialogue with militants if they are really ready, so that, we can have some form of peace in the Ikorodu axis, in the Iba axis, Abula Ado axis, Badagry axis, where all these militants are beginning to hide now that the Air Force are beginning to have some form of air bombardment in their very loopholes where all of them are being hiding. So don't forget, we'll be talking in details in a short while about the role of youth in Nigerian politics and in government. But we'll go on a short break now. You'll be meeting our guests when we come back. We'll be back right after this. Don't go nowhere. All
Hello,
right.
and you're welcome back. And this is the Crossfire on Wazobia Max UH 57. Now, the youths, they say, are the future leaders of tomorrow. But then the youths in Nigeria, can we really boast of that? Are we really the future leaders of tomorrow? Now, the African Union, the African Union Constructive Act and the African Union Commission Strategy Plan already provided some guidelines and lists which should guide member states on being able to incorporate youths in their respective countries to make sure that youths become the true leaders of tomorrow. Now, the African Youth Charter did define who a youth is, and it actually did state that between ages 15 to 35 can be defined as a youth. But in Nigeria, what would our guest today say? Well, we have Mr. Olusoji Moses in the studio with us, and he is the president of the Champions Place Foundation. You're welcome to Crossfire.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
I hope it wasn't difficult getting here today.
No, not at all.
Okay, and we also have Mr. Philip Obin. He's a social commentator and the managing director of Potech Nigeria Limited. You're welcome to Crossfire, sir.
Good morning, Nigeria.
Well, you heard the brief intro. What do you think about youth in Nigeria today? Are youths truly the leaders of tomorrow, like DAPO mentioned in his opening speech? Mr. Philip.
Oh, I think it's wrong for us to begin to continue to agree that youth are leaders of tomorrow. Although Desmond Elliot did define it or redefine it that the Nigerian youth are leaders of tomorrow, however, our tomorrow is today. Now, if we have to go by that, it means that the youth have to come out and make themselves available so that they can be identified.
And that means it has to be now.
Yes.
So the tomorrow we have been talking about since is
now,
actually
yes.
now. Is the today.
Yes, sure.
Anyway, what's your take, Sanji?
Well, it's quite interesting, really, because the youth that saw themselves from some years back, looking at the leaders that we had today, some years back, are actually the reason why the youth is supposed to take their place today. It's not tomorrow anymore. The tomorrow we said so many years ago is today, and the youth have to take their place now.
Okay. As a matter of fact, gentlemen, let's look at governance, let's look at government, let's look at politics in Nigeria and all of that. Considering the fact that we don't play, there is no level playing ground when it comes to politics in Nigeria. If you don't have money, you are not a player. Now,
if you don't have a huge cabal behind you.
Exactly. Godfatherism is one. Money bags are second. And then you yourself, you must probably have attained, a level of financial status before you can say, okay, I'm a youth, I'm youthful, I've done this, I've done that. The likes of Desmond Elliot, I mean, over the years, they've made a lot of money, shooting movies, doing all of that. So he has some change to throw around. But if you are talking about a youth in Nigeria who is just a graduate or a master's degree holder and is ready to say, okay, I want to offer, what my God-given talent when it comes to, political matters or governance, to some of us participated very immersively and dedicatedly in student unionism when we were on campus. And it was the springboard for some of us, to pick interest in politics. Now, gentlemen, let's look at it. Do the youth of Nigeria have a place in governance? I'm just asking a very sincere question. Do you think the youth of this generation, let's talk about the youth today. And we already defined it. This is the today that we're talking about. We're not talking about our children, coming into government tomorrow. The tomorrow is today, which we all agreed. Now, do you think Nigerian youths can actually, or do they have a space? Do you think there's a space for us in governance in Nigeria? Soji?
Well, I absolutely agree with you. There's a space for us here right now, like I rightly said in my opening speech. Now, some of the critical things that the Nigerian youth have already learned, which I believe so strongly they're going to make a difference, given that opportunity. Now, the lapses, there's a huge vacuum from what our fathers, if I could use that word, and from what they have seen to have led us to this particular place we are in today. There's a lot of openings, there's a lot of vacuums, there's a lot of mistakes which has been done by our leaders that are still in it. And there's a lot that we have learned from them. However, we have also believed that we have a better way from what we have learned and from what we have known today to be of help in terms of practicalizing what we know into what we already seen from our fathers. And I believe so strongly that our youth will not make the same mistake. Because there's a lot of huge vacuum that the fathers have made, our leaders have made.
Anyway, the mistakes are already made. Sorry to interject. I'm the anchor. So I can interject. I have the right to interject. But you see, the point here is that
Yes.
the few opportunities that the youth in Nigeria, let me put it that way, the space that they have been given have already been messed up. So I disagree with you very vehemently and very sincerely too, because I have my points, to saying that the few opportunities or a few times that the youth have had opportunity to be in government, they've messed up.
This cannot be compared. This cannot be compared.
Can I come in?
Let's take it.
This cannot be compared to the mistakes the leaders that are still holding on.
Yeah.
It cannot be compared.
How do you?
It cannot be compared. We have seen.
We gave you an opportunity to make a difference, and you never did. And you want another opportunity.
Do you know that the opportunity that was given to us?
Yes.
You cannot size this opportunity with the mistakes of our fathers and the leaders that are still in there.
Okay, let's take Philip's comment. I mean, what do you think?
Let me take on him first. In leadership, there are bound to be mistakes, whether from the older generation or from the new generation. Mistakes are also part of leadership. But that's by the way. Now, I think the question shouldn't be if Nigerian youth are involved in leadership. We are involved. The question should be, are we meaningfully involved? That's the issue. Okay. Now, when it comes to Nigerian politics, for example, the Nigerian youth is actually involved, but what is he doing?
At what
we
level?
are the ones.
He's the third. He's the third for the godfathers who are in government.
Exactly. That's what I want to say.
We're not involved.
Now, we are the ones who help in rigging elections in Nigeria.
Correct.
We are the ones who are the Niger Delta militants.
Oh, God bless you.
We are the ones who are online insulting people, fighting. No, some of them are the attack names. Yeah, they're called Iraq.
And we are the same generations who marriages are not working. It's failing, and we bring it to the social media and talk about it, you know, and all of that.
So I think that the Nigerian youth is involved, but we need to channel our energy, you know, to meaningful involvement, not the other way around. That aside, I also believe that we need to change our legislation when it comes to youth involvement. The Constitution right now does not allow a young Nigerian who is less than 40 years or 50 to contest for presidency in Nigeria. It does not also allow you to contest for House of Reps if you are not 35 years. Now, these things must change, because if you have to wait until that time, let's look at life expectancy in Nigeria. You know, now the gap is so close. How long are you supposed to wait until you are given opportunity? People are growing faster these days. You could see someone coming out from secondary school and is already doing so much, and yet they have to wait until they get to 30, 35. So I think we need to go back to the basis.
Mr. Philip, yes, I know we need to change our legislation, our laws and other supporting laws. But the truth is, what is the policy direction of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration? I know that previous administration may have failed in that regard, but we're not here to talk about them. We're here to talk about what
don't go to Buhari, ISHIOMA. Don't go to Buhari. You are going far. You are really going far. We have former governor, former president in Goodluck Jonathan. He was, by every classification.
He was not a youth.
He wasn't?
He was not a youth. I said, according to the African Youth Charter, they define a youth from between ages 15 to 35.
What does Nigeria... Can we talk about Nigeria? Exactly. Don't let us use paper definition, really.
Let's bring it to perspective.
Now, Mr. Philip, a youth, what age bracket should a youth be classified in?
Okay, what is your... You believe in what you have been quoting, right?
No, we don't really have...
No, wait, I'm going to take you on.
I remember when...
What is your classification?
When we had this discussion on CROSSFIRE, I said, okay, let's look at from age 20 to 35. I remember I said...
Okay, Philip, what do you think?
I said that earlier. Within this age bracket, you are not allowed to participate in politics actively by law in Nigeria. So we have to go back to the basics.
Okay, so what will your classification be?
My classification should be between the age of 20 and 40.
20 and 40.
Yes, if you ask
Okay,
me.
that's 2035, 2040.
2045.
2045. Yes. I strongly agree with SOJ on that. 2045, that has always been my position. You know, 2045, it makes a lot of sense. Now, let's bring it into perspective. Now, we have had opportunities since 1999. Let's not go too far. People make references to times of the likes of Yakubu Gowon, the likes of Nnamdi Azikiwe, Obafemi Awolowo, Tafawa Balewa. These were young men who had opportunity in the political space, and they made impact. you know. But Nigeria then was a very beautiful country. There was nothing really to struggle to put in place. Nigeria was working. It was a country that was just, you know, independent. And it was a country that had virtually everything going for him. Agric was thriving. Hold on. I'll give you room to talk. Agric was thriving. We discovered oil. So we had a very buoyant economy.
But we had these youths who also fought for independence, true or false? And do you know what it was to face the British imperialists at that time?
Do you know why they were able to fight?
Come on,
it was not because they were young. It was because they had an education that gave them, that broadened their mind to be able to do that.
Yeah, but we
because my father probably would not have gone because he was not that educated.
But let me show you.
You get what I mean? So it wasn't because they were young.
With you. We are more educated now than even then.
Exactly, we are more educated now.
We are more educated now than even then.
What kind of education do you think we have now? Don't compare that education had a lot of credibility and integrity in it. And the education today is different.
And a lot of decorum also. The personality at that particular time for what we have now is totally different. And that's what I said in the beginning, that there's a lot of vacuum. The vacuum is huge. The disparity is huge. Now, if you look at some of the values, even the parents at that particular time taught these leaders that are still sitting now, compared to what they are giving to us, is different. Some have morals, some moral values that were installed inside of them. But many parents today, that are leaders today, how many of them do have the time?
The family unit has failed.
Do you understand? So hold on a bit. No. I disagree with you. I disagree with you. Don't go into religion. Now, see, the first discipline before the society is the family. Because that is the smallest unit of any nation. The nation that we see today is from the family. True. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, if a child that, you know, comes out from a particular family and lacks this area of moral values, lack the area of sensitivity, lack the area of what? Accountability, self-accountability, and even civil services. Do you understand? Now, many of us don't even know this. Apart from us coming out to say, okay, we are coming out to say we are the leaders of today, we are the leaders of tomorrow. Okay, let me even ask this question. How many of our leaders today have really talked to us about the values that Nigeria is expected to be as a nation?
But that's why we have the national
No national.
Many of them, my dear, listen.
That's why we have the
See, hold on. Hold on a bit. Let me make my point.
Okay.
Why I'm saying this is very critical, and we must understand this aspect. Many of the structured, put together by governance or government sitting or act of sitting, none of them is really working. Because if it should...
Even under this administration.
My dear, not...
What is worse under this administration?
We have not seen anything.
Let's hear from Mr. Philip.
It is worse under this administration.
Let's hear
And a 83-year-old man has just been appointed into office.
For what?
And we are there.
What's he going to give to us?
When we started,
okay, let's take
that
Philip's
the youth must also make themselves available. And let's take, for instance, Desmonello made himself available. Kate Henshaw made himself available. We have Bob Manuel Udoko in Anambra State.
Nice, made himself available.
You know, and they have been supported. They are getting all the support they needed.
But the other youths who have made themselves available, should I call their names?
Now, those ones they have platforms.
See,
Philip, these guys that are making themselves,
these guys that are making themselves available,
platform for yourself,
have shown themselves. For instance, now they have shown themselves that I have capacity, because some of the things that we're looking at is not just head knowledge. We're talking about getting in there, understanding what that office really entails.
They've been in the public, you know, they've been in the public face.
So, like I said, you can make yourself known in the public.
Making yourself, I disagree with you. Making yourself known.
All of us cannot make movies. All of us cannot. Let me tell you, the intrusion of this set of people.
Yes,
the intrusion of this set of people, they are coming out in the last set of politics we experienced in Nigeria. It's understandable. If I'm a public face, maybe because I'm an actor or an actress, or I have something that is putting me out there in the public face that people can identify. Almost every child in our neighborhood know Kate Henshaw, know Nice, no Desmond Elliott. Now, those guys had an opportunity to be there, and therefore they have a form of clout that they've gathered. People who love their acting. And so the support that they got was nothing. I mean, if they didn't get it, all of us should I mean, we should be surprised. I'm even surprised that some of them didn't win their elections, really.
Yeah, but let me also put it to you. It goes beyond being popular on TV. Like I said, you must be available and you must have the qualities. All right? Beyond popularity, there are also godfathers who have to pick you and nurture you, who are supposed to sponsor you.
So you believe in godfatherism?
I don't believe in godfatherism, but I believe in mentorship. Somebody has to mentor you.
Exactly. But you see, now,
the older
when
generation
ISHIOMA was talking about,
mentoring.
I thought...
Because we live in a nation where you can't rule out money in politics. For a long time, it will be difficult.
Yes.
Now, even in developed countries, you do need money to run politics.
That's true.
Politics have never been
But
cheap.
they always have their
Let me learn. Now, the truth is that the Nigerian youth is always waiting for someone somewhere to bring money to help you. It's high time we begin to do things on our own.
Yeah, but this country, if you are not corrupt, how do you get money to go into politics?
That is why...
Since you need the money.
Corruption
yes.
is another problem we have. I have experienced an election where each local government, out of over 20 local governments, had to be paid about 100 million naira per local government coordinator to run an election. Now, where does the Nigerian youth get such amount of money? Now, if you multiply 100 million by 20-something...
So I'd rather we sit
going to
and do thuggery,
is a big problem.
And do thuggery for the big guys to come into government, and then I'll be getting money on the side.
Yeah, but that's wrong. For me to,
but that is what the Nigerian space has given. That is the platform.
Where do the old men get their money?
No, Philip, that
is they get their money.
Many
a lot of places.
Listen,
from where?
One
where
of
you cannot get to.
See, one of the
you can't get there.
One of the areas that we also need to consider, which is actually also a sad experience, is how the leaders that have brought us this far, they have not actually played their role.
They've not mentored us.
Do you understand what I'm saying? They have not. Now, we are learning from them.
Not all of them.
Now, hold on a bit. Hold on a bit.
Mm-hmm.
They have not really played that role significantly enough to make somebody or a youth to decide to say, okay, I'm going to that office. If you do a statistics and you ask youths, the reason why they are going there is because of they feel that there's a pudding in that place that I want to go and get. Like I said, we do not really understand the meaning of the public service office.
A lot of youths do.
Yeah, a lot of us don't.
No, a lot of us don't. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, well,
now,
too bad for those who don't. A lot of people have met a lot of youth who understand what
if I go into politics today, I can be rest assured that I have something at the back of my mind.
I didn't say all of us. I said a lot of us don't. Okay. Yeah? Now, for those that really understood this angle or point, where are they in the real sense of it?
Now, they are mentoring their children to take over from them when they leave office.
Do you know that with the way Nigeria is going and with the way these our leaders are positioning themselves, it's totally wrong. It's not helping any of the youth. And those youth that have come out in their capacity that is worked for themselves and understanding the fact that, see, we need to go and make a change. I can tell you, they only have for maximum 8 tenure if they're going to go for second term. And 8 years. And after that, what happens? Would they have been able to deal with the issues at hand?
Okay, so let's talk about a few, people in Nigeria who qualified as youth.
Okay.
And they have been given an opportunity.
All right.
In governance.
Okay.
And they messed up.
Okay.
Number 1 is in the person of Dimeji Bankole.
I knew you were going to go that first.
Now, is your man. I need comment from you. I thought that was an opportunity for the youth of this nation to make statement that we are back and we are back better and that we are ready for governance. But you all know the story how it all turned out.
Yeah, but let me.
you know the story how it all turned out.
Let me comment on that.
Okay.
I did say earlier that corruption has been a very big problem in our Nigerian leadership generally. Take for example. You are contesting for just a House of Rep member, and you have to spend as much as 500 million naira to get to that seat. Where did you get the money from? And political borrowing is known to attract interest of about over 1,000%. In the end, you have to pay back the money. Now, who do we pay these monies to? We need to address these issues, because if you are under pressure to pay a loan facility that has 1,000% interest, you are bound to steal. You are bound to pad the budget so you can recover your money.
Exactly.
Yeah, so those are the issues.
There's no way you will pad. Padding has become one of the most favorite words in Nigeria.
As I tell you, the legacy laid down, okay, is very faulty. Now, there's no use that doesn't have a fatherism, godfatherism somewhere. I can tell you for that, yeah? Now, any one of them that is going to occupy this space, like I said again, and like my...
It's like you're working, I'm just sending you out on an assignment, and you have to deliver.
We, the youth, need to really set ourselves aside.
What should change? So let's talk about, so what should change? As far as I'm concerned, I think we have failed.
I think
we have to begin to reorganize ourselves.
No, Mr. Philip.
Okay, you think we still have an opportunity?
DAPO,
yes, we do.
DAPO.
We do.
You think we still have an opportunity?
We are the leaders of today.
There's one thing.
We are the leaders of today.
We have a 73-year-old man as president. But we have seen his lopsided, appointments in terms of both geopolitical zones and even age-wise.
Even gender-based.
Anyway, before we continue, we'll quickly go on a short break. When we come back, we'll take it on from here. We'll be right back after this.
To enjoy more of these our Ogbonge videos when you just watch, press this button to subscribe on top of our YouTube page. You go love her.